back to my channel. So we have this viral video of this man. Actually, he's the father. He's the father who's very upset because his baby mama let their daughter sit on their uncle's lap. What's your thought on this? Let's get into the video.
And don't you ever in your life have my daughter sitting on your uncle's lap again, dude.
First of all, don't you ever in your motherfucking life come at me like that.
What you
the
mean,
fuck is
dude?
you on?
That made me uncomfortable, Mom.
You heard what she said, man.
Don't sit down, that's your uncle.
What you mean that's her? Listen, don't let my, listen, don't
Okay,
let my
we
daughter
always
sit
feeding
on
the
no
fuck
man
right
lap.
there. What is you on?
Don't let my daughter sit on no man lap. What is your problem,
Oh
man?
no, what the fuck is you on with me and my uncle? Why'd you over-sexualizing that
That's
shit?
my daughter,
We
dude.
all sitting right there. Like, what
Listen,
the fuck is you on?
she's a girl. She shouldn't be sitting on no man lap. What are you talking about?
You is tripping, man, for real.
How am I tripping, dude? I don't play that. I'm a
because
baby. I
that
don't
shit
play
is
that,
crazy
man.
as a motherfucker.
I don't play that, dude. Seriously, dude, I do not play that, dude. For real, dude. Don't let that shit happen again. I don't see how. Why can't you understand? Why can't you see it how I see it? Dude?
Okay, and why the fuck is you talking to me like that, though?
Because
that shit wild as a
you
bitch.
let my daughter sit on another man's lap.
Okay, but
Uncle
what
now,
the
I
fuck?
don't give a fuck.
Okay, but okay, I'm not your motherfucking child, though.
Listen, don't let it happen
Quit
again.
talking to me
all right?
like you
I'm
done
not-
lost your
listen,
motherfucking
She already
mind.
said she felt uncomfortable. You're not gonna listen to your daughter? You're not gonna listen to her? That's what I'm saying, dude. That shit pissing me off, man. I ain't got time for this, dude. Come on,
You know, because of what I experienced, which I'm going to share with you, briefly at the end of the video. So make sure you watch this video up to the end. Every time I see such videos, I go like, short and simple. This man had every right to be upset. The reason why, please get me right on this. Some guys, when a child is sitting on their lap, they use that child, to get off. For a lot of men, even the slightest touch down there will give them an erection. This is not a joke. Even if it's just accidental, that's just how some men are. That's just how it is. So basically, he had every right to be mad. Let's get into the stitches. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to share my own thoughts. Leave your own thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think this man overreacted or what? Let's get into the stitches.
Uncle lap again, dude.
First of all, don't you ever...
You know what's funny? I remember my mother telling me as a little girl not to sit on every man's lap. And she even told me not to hug every man I saw. She understood that a lot of men, whether we're related to them or not, don't have our best interests at heart, ladies. And I don't care about this man's tone either. Whoever that woman is in the video really needs to shut up and sit down and listen to his message, because his message was on point. I don't know what that woman was on, but I'm pretty sure she will never want to get that phone call talking about, we need you to identify the body, or your child is missing, or somebody touched her, if not already. It seems like she doesn't really care about the well-being of her little girl. I'm just saying. Now, I don't know if that video is a skit or not, but still, my message is going to stay the same. Use wisdom.
Have my daughter sitting on your uncle's lap again, dude.
First of all, don't you ever in your...
So everybody's going to need to go ahead and watch that video before you listen to this. Thank you. We'll wait. Because see that right there? That's a real man, if you didn't know what one looks like. And gaslighting in the fullest effect, that's also what she looks like. Okay? Period, point blank. Once a child says something, it is your job, it is your responsibility, it's the only obligation you have to life at that point to take it, run with it, and protect your child. That man 100% correct. King, that crown, don't worry, we got you back here. Now, Mom, you and I, let's talk. For real, let's talk. It's the only thing you have to say out your mouth is how that man is speaking to you. And that man is speaking to you very, very calmly. I'm going to be very honest with you. He's very legitimate and adamant and articulate about what he's saying. So we're not going to gaslight him. We're not going to make him seem like he's an aggressor. See, that's the weird stuff that we're not going to do that. We're not going to gaslight. I'm calling you out point blank, period. As a former residential treatment counselor for SA children 5 to 17, that is the type of child that literally will come there later in life when you haven't listened and that uncle has done something to them, and then the uncle gets the opportunity to go to therapy instead of jail, because those are what those residential treatments offer. You didn't know. Yes. Abusers get the option to go to treatment for their disability, because that's what they want to play it off as a pedophilia is a disability. Yeah, they get to go sit in treatment when the child gets to live there 24 hours a day, go home on weekends if parents choose to get them, and then they get to sit there with their abuser while they're told that they're overreacting. So we're not doing that at all. He said what he said, that baby said what she said, and the only problem left is who needs to say what they need to say to you. I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't look like you hearing words. Do y'all need to talk? You got her? Alabama style? Okay, all right, we're cool. All right, the green chair has spoken. No, but for real, that gaslighting was crazy.
First of all, don't you ever.
So not only is she ignoring her child's father, she's also ignoring the child. If you go back and watch that whole video, you'll see where someone says, I think he says, like, look, his daughter is uncomfortable sitting on the uncle's lap. And the woman, as usual, and I hate to say it, but y'all, this is a perfect example of how we would just keep on rambling, not listen to anyone, more determined to prove that we are right instead of making sure that our family is a safe, cohesive, and thriving unit. Like, this man is trying to protect his daughter. I'm not understanding why there's any pushback, why there's any talk back. It should be nothing but okay. Y'all seem to forget that men are men. Men understand men because they are other men. So if your man or your child's father is advising you something about another man, why isn't that just the gospel and you accept it?
First of all, don't you ever in your.
First of all, he did right. Second of all, y'all really out here complaining about men not being fathers and men not stepping up when this man is telling you that he got a problem with his daughter sitting in another man's lap. Period. It really ain't no argument. He said what he said, and he's her father. Her father. And he said what he said. So I don't understand why the arguing and going back and forth. Why is you coming at me like... He didn't even really come at you crazy. He really didn't. He's upset because his daughter told him that she felt uncomfortable, and it's up to him as her father to protect her, because that's what fathers do. And for you to sit there and act like he's doing something wrong for wanting to protect his daughter makes you trash, ma'am. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it don't matter whether y'all together or not together or whatever the case may be, that his daughter belonged to him. Just like she belonged to you, she belonged to him. And it's his job to protect her. And it's your job to get out the way when he's trying to protect her. That's what you should be doing. Because you sound crazy. Because y'all swear up and down that these men out here not fathering their kids, but then when they try to father them, y'all want to step in the way. Are we protecting the kids or no? Like, what's happening here?
First of all, don't you ever in your.
Okay, TikTok. So I've seen this guy multiple times on videos on various topics. So this is definitely a skit, but overall the message is true. You shouldn't have your children on anyone's lap. And it's not just from a daughter perspective, it's also from a son perspective. And that's the problem. Whenever people hear about women and daughters and things like that, they get overly protective. But when it's their sons, they tend to neglect and ignore that. So you have to be wary of both your children. Also, this is why a lot of children get touched, because of the negligence on the parents, and they think, oh, it's the uncle or it's the aunt or anybody like that. It doesn't matter. The fact is that any of those children can be touched at any point in time, or worse. So overall, what I'm going to say is be wary of your children. Be wary of predators and people with predatory-like behavior. I mean, even if they're just saying offhand comments, like, for example, like a lot of women tend to say, oh, you know, a boy would be like 2 or 3 years old, maybe a baby, like, oh, he's my boyfriend. We're not doing that over here. And this is something that me and my wife has established even before we had children, and when our children eventually came years later. So yes, I'm glad we are on board with this. But people, you have to be protective of your children, both boys and girls, not just girls. All right.
Daughter, you're not gonna.
You know, I want you to go back and look at the whole video that I stitched, because at first when I'm looking at it, I'm like, God, you know what? Parents need to get their shit together. They're always arguing over stupid things, and we got these kids hanging out here in the middle. And then the dad said, your daughter said she felt uncomfortable. At that moment, every fucking thing else stops. Everything. Because the little girl said she felt uncomfortable. Our little girls are asking us to protect them. Let's do that.
Okay, so here's my take on this, sharing this, my little experience that I had as a child. I think I was only about 8 or 9. I don't really remember how old I was, like really. And you know how it is in Africa. I don't know about other, cultures. We call every man uncle, and every other woman we call them auntie. And then I remember this neighbor, our neighbor, because we used to call him, uncle. I was fond of him. So he called me, I don't know, I was a child and I was excited, like, I don't know. He wanted me to he wanted me to help him get something that was, on higher, like on top of a wardrobe or something. So, this man, he said, he told me as a child, he was like, if I could lift you, you'll be able to reach and get what I want you to get for me. And okay, I was like, okay, no problem. I was a child, very innocent, and he lifted me. Now, the way he caught me, he had me stuck, like, he kept squeezing me between his, I can say between his thighs and his chest. What surprised me was that it only got to me when I grew older, because I kept questioning myself to say, why didn't he lift me way above his shoulders, to get whatever he wanted me to get for him? He kept, rubbing me around his between thighs and his chest somewhere. And I was a child, but I'm able to remember as I grew older, I could remember that I felt something harder, on his private parts. Obviously, it was an erection, but then I didn't know, I had no idea. Okay, so because when he called me, I was, with my friends. And during all that time when he was trying to, whatever he was trying to do to me, rubbing me against his whatever, my friends started looking for me. And then when they entered the room, like the living room, the way he threw me down, I didn't understand, It was when I grew up, that's when I realized to say, he was matured enough to realize to say, oh, I'm caught. And because these are kids, he got away with it, And that's just that. We moved past that. I only came to realize this, that this was going to be like this when I was older. Yeah, so I think this man had every right to react the way he did. Never ever should you allow your child, your daughter, even your son these days, never allow them to sit on any man or any woman's laps. That's my take on this. Let me know what you think about this video, guys, in the comment section below. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. I'm okay, guys. Thank you for listening.